Welcome back to my channel, everyone, and today it's Jamaican fruit cake and Merry Christmas. And if you're not watching this during the Christmas season, have a good day, y'all. So this fruit cake is one of the best fruit cake I've ever eaten and I've ever tasted. Just look at it. It's perfection. And then, oh, look at that. Oh, moistness. Delicious. Guys, I can't wait to share with you this recipe. It's a perfect balance in between the cakey texture and the pudding texture. It's just perfect. So stick around and see how we do this. Boom bam, let's start. So first we have to start with soaking our fruits or stewing our fruits. I use raisins only, some rum and some Carl's fruit wine. You need an empty jar to soak your fruits in. I empty all my raisins. You can use prunes or cherries, but your girl just love raisins only. And then after adding all your fruits, you add in your fruit wine until it covers all the raisins or fruits, and then you go in and add your rum. I add in approximately 2 tablespoons of rum per 1.5 cup of fruits. So I added in around enough rum. You do the maths and then you do it, see me? But I recommend that you soak your fruits at least for a week before you use them. It can soak over years, but at least a week before you use them. If you do not have a week's time to soak your fruits, you can go ahead and stew it with the same wine and rum for at least 15 minutes, medium flame. Now let's start our cake. I'm using margarine. You can use butter, but all time people use margarine, so it may use and it tastes just as good. I cut up my margarine. It's room temperature. I cut it up, that it easily mixed out with the sugar, some brown sugar. I don't need to use white. Brown is good enough for me. I love it brown. brown. And nothing can waste to scrape out the bowl, and we just start to mix and cream. No, because we didn't use butter, but we used margarine, it's not going to cream until it becomes fluffy. Nah, it's going to cream until it looks something similar like this. And I only use half stick of butter because I don't like a lot of oil. I like it, I like it easy to digest on my stomach. Now it's time to add in our eggs. You can mix the eggs before you add it in, or you can just add in your eggs one at a time, and you just mix until it gets creamy like this. Mix until it gets creamy like this. Alright people, it's time for the dry ingredients. We add in our flour, regular all-purpose flour, you know what I mean? And then we add in some nutmeg. Don't add in too much nutmeg because then it can become bitter, but we want enough to give that nice warm taste. We add in some baking powder, some baking soda, and follow this to the T. This is how you get the perfect texture. We add in some cinnamon for warmth, some salt because salt just balances out everything. It make it feel a little bit sweeter without adding more sugar. And then we just sift this, you know what I mean? And we're done. That's how easy we do this to the dry ingredients. Now it's time to prepare our liquid for the cake. And I add some vanilla to our fruit wine, and I add some little, this is rose water. Rose water just brings out that whole rumminess without adding too much rum. Now we add the rum. And guys, yes, we add rum in the fruits, we add rum in the cake, and we add rum afterwards. And now we're going to add some lemon juice, because the lemon juice just make everything sing. You know, it counteracts all the rawness from the egg, and it improves all the fruitiness taste. And now it's time to move on to our fruits. We're going to blend up all our fruits that was soaking, or if you didn't soak your fruits but you stew them, it's time to blend it. And I blend up my fruits like this. You know, I measure out 1.5 cups like this. Yes. And then I add just a little bit of juice, wine from it, so that I can get my blender going. Well, I blend my fruits until they're smooth like this. Yeah, some people like it chunky. I like it smooth. I like it smooth. Alright, so it's time to make the breadcrumbs. You can buy breadcrumbs at the supermarket, or if you have a food processor at home, you can make it. It's really easy. Just break up some bread and just zilks. Now I'm just going to butter or margarine up my container, 7-inch or 8-inch. My baking pan, that is. And you know, funny enough, we didn't used to grease and use parchment paper for our cakes, but because I'm doing this for YouTube, you have to do it right, because I don't want to not use any parchment paper and then lo and behold, when the cake to come out, it don't come out. Alright, so we're adding the flour into our creamed mixture, half and half, just a little bit at a time, and then you're adding the wine mixture, then you're adding a little bit more flour, then you're adding a little bit more wine, and you just continue doing that until it finish. You know, it's very easy. It's not rocket science. It's just baking. Even though baking is a science, you know, but alright. We scrape down our bowl to ensure that all the flour come down, you know. Simple baking 101, one-on-one tips. And we're adding more fruit wine. Yes, you know, some adding the fruit wine. Yes. And after everything is mixed in, we add in our blended fruits. Yes, I will mix this up. Man, this smells so good already. You know this is going to be really good. You know that though? Alright, we'll mix this up. And then after we mix this, I think we're going to add in our breadcrumbs. Yes, you might be saying that this looks a bit too runny. No. The breadcrumbs is going to thicken it up. You know, breadcrumbs does the work. Perfect texture. And then we go in and add our browning. I add only 2 tablespoons of browning. If you want it darker, you can add more, and if you want it lighter, you can add less. And then I just go in and mix. You notice that I'm not using the stand mixer, the hand mixer anymore. I move over to my spatula to ensure that I do not overmix. And then we just add this to our prepared baking pan or tin. Scrape out everything out of the pan. Shake it a little bit and bake for 45 to 50 minutes at 180 degrees Celsius until you push like a toothpick in the center and it comes out clean with a little bit of moist, a little crumbs on it, and you know that it's done and ready. Now we're gonna let this cool for at least 5 minutes before we pour on some rum and some fruit wine. I wait for approximately 5 minutes so that I do not crack my cake. I find if I pour it immediately on, the cake will crack. So I wait 5 minutes until it cool down while still allowing it to be hot, because you want the cake to be hot that it absorb all the moistness, all the rum and all the fruit wine. Alright, so it's now to take out the cake, and you just use a little table knife and you just ease it up from the sides, ease it up off the bottom. Once you realize that everything is free, you flip it over and look at that. Usually the parchment paper on the base, you'd have to take it off, but it was left in the baking tin, so I only have to take off the one around the edges. And it's time to taste this. It's time to look at this texture, guys. This is magic. It's in between being cakey and puddingy. And it's moist, it's rich, it's delicious, it smells so good. Man, I stand 100% behind this recipe. I use this recipe over and over and over, and it come out so good. Look at that.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh, o'er the fields we go, laughing all the way. Bells on bobtail ring, making spirits bright. What fun it is to ride and sing a sleighing song tonight. Oh, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. Hey, jingle bells, jingle all the way. Oh, what fun it is to ride in a one-horse open sleigh. A day or two ago, I thought I'd take a ride, and soon Miss Fanny Bright was seated by my side. The horse was lean and lame, misfortune seemed his lot.